We are days away from Jake Paul versus Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. And yeah, look, I believe Jake Paul will win this fight. But I don't think that this is going to be easy at all. Chavez Jr. is going to be difficult for Jake Paul. It's going to be embarrassing for Chavez Jr., of course, because, he's a former world champion and he's going to lose to Jake Paul. People saying, oh, it's fixed, it's fixed, it's fixed. I think you're delusional saying that. That's not the case at all. But, the fact is Chavez Jr. has ruined this for himself. He put himself in his position where he's going to be humiliated and embarrassed. And that's not because, he's going to get battered around the ring, because I don't think that's what's going to happen. A loss for Chavez Jr. in any capacity whatsoever is embarrassing. That is the harsh truth. A loss for Chavez Jr. is completely embarrassing to a YouTuber like Jake Paul. That is something which shouldn't happen, but it is what will happen in my opinion. Is an upset possible with Chavez Jr. winning? Yes, and it actually is an upset if he wins compared to the odds. Well, going off the odds, Chavez is like a 4-1, 5-1 underdog. He's a massive underdog in this fight, Chavez Jr. So it is an upset if he wins, and I feel like there is a chance of it. I think Chavez Jr. can beat Jake Paul, but the way he was getting hit off a bodybuilder, stiff Uriah Hall, was pretty embarrassing to see how stiff and slow Uriah Hall was and how much success he was able to get against Chavez. It was embarrassing. And Jake Paul, he's no good, but he's looser than someone like Uriah Hall. He hits harder than Uriah Hall. He's heavier than Uriah Hall. Jake Paul's a naturally bigger man than Julio Chavez Jr. as well. I feel like this is going to be fairly competitive here and there, though. I feel like it will be competitive. I think Chavez will get success. Chavez might even hurt Jake Paul. But the point is that, Chavez Jr. will be humiliated and embarrassed because of a loss. It doesn't matter if this is competitive and he loses a close decision. It's embarrassing either way. Yes, he's a massive underdog, but he's a former world champion. He's been in there with some fantastic names, such as Canelo and all that. It's embarrassing if he doesn't win this fight. But look, Chavez Jr. is looking in good shape right now, though. He's looking healthy from what we've seen in photos and videos of him so far this fight week. He's looking healthy and he's looking ready to go, which is a big positive. And, it's very important that he is. But I don't trust him to win. I don't trust him to win this fight at all. I feel like he's done, really. I don't think he's still done. He might have had a good camp, but the discipline isn't there as much. I don't even really think he fully cares either, to be completely honest with you. This could be very tough for Jake Paul, or it could just be a competitive decision win for Jake Paul. I don't think Jake Paul knocks Chavez Jr. out. I don't think that's the case at all. I don't think Jake Paul knocks him out. I feel like, it's got to be somewhat competitive. It can't not be. Chavez Jr. was a former world champion. Even though he's way past it, he's 39. Even though he's way past his prime, he's about, 10 years off it now. Still, the reality is that he's been in there with some big names. He's got the massive experience level over Jake Paul. Much more experience than him. He's the most experienced boxer that Jake Paul has ever fought. The most experienced ever. And you never know when this goes into the later rounds, it might favor him more. But I don't know. I don't know if he is going to be able to last, though. That's the thing. It's a 10-round fight as well. There's many questions that are going to be answered, and you never know. Experience could win the fight for Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., but it might not. The experience might not win Chavez Jr. the fight, but the experience is going to be able to cause Jake Paul problems. That's the thing. The experience of Chavez Jr. will cause Jake Paul problems. The fact that Julio Cesar Chavez is as experienced as he is, even though he's known to be very undisciplined, the experience of him is going to be able to play a factor in this fight. It will do at some point, and in some ways, we are going to be able to see. But again, Jake Paul being the fresher man, probably juiced up. And I don't think he's going to pick an opponent that he knows is a real threat to him. And I feel like it was clear to see in that Uriah Hall fight, he's not. It was clear to see in that Anderson Silva fight, he's not. People think he beat Anderson Silva, but the fact it was a close fight with him, and it was as close as it was, it's embarrassing in itself for Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. And Jake Paul beat Anderson Silva. Jake Paul was way too fresh for Anderson Silva. Jake Paul would annihilate Uriah Hall. Chavez Jr. couldn't do that. It shows how undisciplined he is. It shows that he just can't really be asked. I mean, you never know as the fight goes on. Chavez Jr. his experience might show, or he might just give up and just be happy to take the bag. I don't know. I think he can win the fight, but it just depends on what version of him shows up, because right now, his skill is gone. Experience will always be with you. Experience will always be with you. But his skill is gone. It is not there. I mean, look, I think Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. was overhyped anyway and got given opportunities because of who his father was. But the reality is, he was still a world champion. The reality is, he still went 12 rounds with a guy like Canelo. He's been in there with guys like Danny Jacobs. Experience of being in there with these guys, it's going to benefit you against someone like Jake Paul, who's just been in there with MMA fighters. But the reality is as well, Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. has lost 2 MMA fighters. So, look, there are ways it can go. I believe that Chavez Jr. has taken this more seriously than what he took the Uriah Hall fight. I reckon he's taken this more seriously than how he took the Anderson Silva fight. I do believe that. Is it good enough to win, though? I don't think so. It's just such a weird fight. It's a weird fight to talk about. Chavez Jr. can do it. It's weird to think that we're putting in a former world champion in the same conversation as Jake Paul. But I'm also here saying that, he might be looking better than ever, but no. Jake Paul will win a decision here, in my opinion. I reckon it will be close, but Jake Paul will win. It's a strange fight.